Eminem is Eminem. If you notice in hip hop, Eminem is the only rapper that nobody ever wants a problem with, including myself, man. Eminem is like the most lyrically insane. Even when I was going at 50 and me and Dre wasn't seeing eye to eye, man, I stayed away from the white dude, because he a problem. You know what I'm saying? I understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like Eminem, I don't think it's a rapper he won't slay. And you don't even want a war with Eminem. He crazy.
And I used to think Eminem was better than me.
So what you saying right now?
He's not. Challenge. Hey, challenge it.
Game, you don't want to go versus against Eminem?
Yes, I do. What do you mean? Yeah, I do. The fuck you mean? So what you trying to say? Hey, let's just say what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that I don't want to head or fade with the white man?
Think about this for a second. Who's your favorite singer? It doesn't matter the genre, the awards, or their status. Just name the one artist who hits that spot for you every single time. Now imagine telling someone your pick and they look at you and say you're wrong for liking them. You'd feel some type of way, right? Exactly. That's the thing. Personal taste in music is subjective, and even artists themselves have opinions that don't always match the public. And nobody's a better example of that messy dynamic than the Game versus Eminem situation, because when the Game opened his mouth, he didn't just share an opinion, he lit the whole rap world on fire. The drama started when the Game appeared on NORE and DJ EFN's Drink Champs podcast. He decided to stir the pot and boldly claim he's a better rapper than Eminem. Yup, he said that with his whole chest. The Compton rapper made it clear he'd gladly face Eminem in a versus battle. No hesitation, full confidence. During the conversation, he even admitted that he used to think Eminem was the better MC, saying, "I like Eminem. He's one of the good MCs, great MCs." But when asked how he feels now, his response was cold. He died. He died. It was his way of saying he's not backing down from the challenge. Nori tried to be slick and told Game that he didn't want to see him go head-to-head with Eminem, but Game immediately pushed back. "Yeah, I do," he stated, fully confident. Now keep in mind, this is the same man who a year earlier had Eminem in his personal top 10 list of greatest rappers. Something clearly shifted in his mindset, because now he's talking like he's ready to go bar for bar with Slim Shady. Fans had a lot to say, and the Game decided to double down. He hopped on Instagram and posted a clip where he made it crystal clear that this wasn't a slip-up. This is exactly how he feels. "When y'all say Eminem is better and all that, I see it. I see it. I feel you," he said. And you know what? If you feel like Eminem is better than me, that's your opinion. But it's a lot of people that feel like I'm better than Eminem, and that's their opinion. Me personally, is Eminem better than me? Nah, he's not, bro. He went further, explaining that if anyone doubted him, he'd settle it the old school way. I think the best way to see if he is, or if I am, is let's rap about it. Let's do something. Let's put something out. Let's see. Because that's what it is, bro. It's rap. And then came his mic drop moment. Even if he thought Eminem was better, he wouldn't admit it publicly. "I'm striving to be the best human that I can possibly be. The best rapper, the best father, the best friend," he added. I also gave Eminem his props in the same accord. As far as being better than me, nah. Eminem is not better than me, bro. I'm better than him. I said it again, and I'll keep saying it again, bro. It is what it is. Now, some people call this straight arrogance, but if you really listen, there's also a layer of honesty. He's right about one thing. Who you think is the best often depends on personal opinion. Music taste isn't universal. There are people who live and breathe rap, others who can't stand it, and plenty who just vibe with whatever hits their soul. Everyone's got their lane. Game was also smart not to name drop the people who allegedly think he's better than Eminem. By keeping it vague, he left room for interpretation.
Eminem is Eminem. If you notice in hip hop, Eminem is the only rapper that nobody ever wants a problem with, including myself, man. Eminem is like the most lyrically insane. Even when I was going at 50 and me and Dre wasn't seeing eye to eye, man, I stayed away from the white dude, because he a problem. You know what I'm saying? I understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like Eminem, I don't think it's a rapper he won't slay, and you don't even want a war with Eminem. He crazy.
And I used to think Eminem was better than me.
So what you saying right now?
He's not. Challenge. Hey, challenge it.
Game, you don't want to go versus against Eminem?
Yes, I do. What do you mean? Yeah, I do. The fuck you mean? So what you trying to say? Hey, let's just say what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that I don't want to head or fade with the white man?
And let's be real, there's definitely a segment of fans who genuinely think Game's rawness tops Eminem's technical mastery. As long as folks keep it respectful, everyone's entitled to that opinion. But where Game might have slipped is in that "I wouldn't admit it" comment. Great artists often acknowledge when someone else outshines them, not to diminish themselves, but to set new goals. Look at Drake, for example. Early in his career, he openly said he admired Kanye West and saw him as the one to surpass. Eventually, Drake did rise to that level, much to Kanye's frustration. That kind of humility mixed with ambition fueled his growth. Game, on the other hand, seems to want to rewrite the narrative midstream, and not everyone's buying it. Let's talk about the versus part. Game challenging Eminem to a versus battle sounds wild on paper. One of the hosts even told him it's not a good idea, and for good reason. Eminem came up in Detroit's underground battle rap scene. That's a world where you survive by humiliating opponents one-on-one, in real time, with no room to stumble. That entire culture was immortalized in 8 Mile, and even real rappers admit that those freestyle battles were some of the hardest ever recorded. Eminem lives for lyrical combat. He's destroyed countless challengers on wax and live, often with zero effort. Can the game really say the same? Let's be honest, we don't think so. Now, whether Eminem would even accept such a challenge is another story. But if he did, it would be a cultural moment, no question. And the game knows that. He's a master at stirring controversy to stay relevant. And this is exactly the kind of statement that makes headlines. Interestingly, Game isn't the only big name who's thrown shade at Eminem's status. Snoop Dogg had his own moment a year prior. On The Breakfast Club, Snoop praised Dr. Dre's rise, from NWA to Death Row to becoming a legendary producer who shaped the sound of hip-hop. Dre's resume speaks for itself. Snoop then talked about Dre's knack for finding talent nationwide, using Eminem as the prime example. Snoop said, "Eminem, the great white hope. White rappers had zero respect in rap. Let's keep that one though." He added that Dre put Eminem in a position to be considered top 10, but personally, Snoop didn't see him that way. He listed Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, LL Cool J, and Ice Cube as names he ranked higher when it came to his personal hip-hop essentials. "When you're talking about this hip-hop that I can't live without, I can live without that," Snoop said about Eminem's music. On the surface, it sounded like a diss. But here's the twist. Even Eminem later admitted that Snoop wasn't entirely wrong. Dre did help shape Eminem's career in a massive way. The real issue wasn't Snoop's list, it was his tone during that interview. Eminem didn't appreciate the way Snoop came off, so he responded the only way he knows how, with a diss track. Snoop fired back, and they went back and forth until eventually squashing it. By the time the Super Bowl halftime show rolled around, they were performing side by side with Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and 50 Cent, shutting down the stage like legends. But guess who wasn't on that stage? The Game. And that, honestly, speaks volumes. There's a fine line between speaking your truth and stirring chaos just to get attention. Game's statements are a mix of both. On one hand, he's voicing his confidence. On the other, he's strategically poking a giant to get a reaction. Eminem has spent decades proving his skill. He's not just a top-tier lyricist, he's a cultural force. For over 20 years, he's dominated charts, influenced generations, and pulled off an iconic Super Bowl performance like it was nothing. So if Game genuinely wants that smoke, he better come correct, because Slim Shady doesn't play when the mic's on. Now, it's your turn to weigh in. Is the Game really better than Eminem, or is this just his way of sparking a feud for clout? Do you think Eminem will respond? Whatever happens, this is a battle of words the world would definitely tune in for.